Okay, I think we're live. So, review B. So, day 2 review, 1, 15, 19. All right, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to put these questions on a separate sheet of paper so I can show my work. Okay, number 1. Don't cancel the x squared. It doesn't work that way. You cannot. You're going to have to factor. You're going to have to factor. Okay, real quick reason. You don't have to write this down real quick, but if I had 7 plus 5 over, say, I don't know, 6 minus 4. Oh, I want to make that 7 minus 4, okay. You don't have to write this down. The answer is 12 over 3, which is 4, right? If you were being so silly as to cancel the 7s, you wouldn't get that answer, right? So we're not going to do the same thing here. Don't cancel the x squared. Factor, okay? Factor. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this as take out an x. I'll have an x minus 5 in the numerator. Denominator, I'm going to go x plus 5, x minus 5. So I factor, and then I can cancel, okay? So I factor the numerator, take out an x, factor the denominator, x plus 5, x minus 5. X minus 5 cancels with x minus 5, and I have an answer of x over x plus 5. That's it. All right. Let's slide this up and let's take a look at number 2. Number 2, I'm going to rewrite x plus 2 over x squared plus 2x minus 3 times x squared minus 9 over x plus 2. Okay? Factor. We're going to factor everything we can and then cancel. Okay? So in the numerator, x plus 2 can't factor that, but in the denominator, I'm going to factor it into an x plus 3, x minus 1. X plus 3, x minus 1, because that will make my negative 3 when I multiply and my positive 2 when I add. Times my numerator, x plus 3, x minus 3 over x plus 2. Okay? And then I'm just going to cancel. Cancel, cancel, cancel. X plus 2 cancels with x plus 2. X plus 3 cancels x plus 3. Okay? And what's left over would be an x minus 3 over an x minus 1. And I'll give you a second to catch up, and then we'll do number 3, okay? And there's number 4 is 0, okay? 4 is just 0. Can't count. Okay, turn the page. Okay, make sure I'm not going too fast, all right? Will you please let me know? Okay, number 3. I have a 3xy squared over a 7xy cubed divided by 9x squared y squared over a 14x. So when I divide fractions, I need to flip. Remember the term invert and multiply from middle school? So we're going to flip this fraction, so I'm going to rewrite this whole thing. So 3xy squared over 7xy cubed times a 14x over a 9x squared y squared. Now there's no factoring. But I'm going to cancel. I'm going to cancel anything's on the top and on the bottom. Before I cancel, though, let's look at the big numbers, the whole numbers, okay? Think of this as 3/9. Anything on the top, think of this as 3/9. 3/9 would reduce to a 1/3, okay? See that as 3/9 reduces to a 1/3. You okay with that? See the 14 and the 7? Okay, 14 and 7, think of that as 2, right? 2 over 1. 7 goes to 14, so I can cancel that into 2 over 1, okay? Now, anything on the top with anything on the bottom, I can cancel. So I'm going to cancel the x's. That x cancels that x, right? 2 of these y squared over y cubed. 2 of these y's will cancel 2 of these y's. Those cancel that and just left me with y. X's, okay? I can cancel these x's. One of these x's cancels one of these x's. So this x will cancel one of these x's, and I'm left with just an x. Now, what's left over? Let's see what's left over. So I cancel anything on the top with anything on the bottom that happens to be the same. Okay, so let's see what's left over. Okay, so I have a a 1 times 2, so I've got a 2 on top. And on the bottom, I'm going to have a y times y squared. So I'm going to have a 3x with a y cubed. And now that's all I could do. There's nothing else to cancel. Okay. 4, there is no 4. I forgot to put 4 down. That's okay. We'll just jump to 5. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just go and take away the y squared and the y squared?
Oh, yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you. I should have seen that, Cody. The answer is yes. I should have seen it, but I didn't, okay? Okay, 5. Completely agree with you, okay? 3x over 2x plus 1 plus x plus 2 over 2x plus 1, okay? Now, when you add, we need a common denominator, right? And we already do. They're the same, right? So, all right, that's nice. I've got my common denominator, 2x plus 1, right? So let's add the numerators. I'm going to get a 4x plus 2. 4x plus 2. Now, normally I'd be done, except for in this case, I think I can factor and maybe cancel, okay? Normally I'd say, okay, I'm done, but nah, I think I can factor out of 2, out of the top, out of the numerator, 2x plus 1 over a 2x plus 1, right? And that's going to help me. In this case, cancels 2x plus 1 with 2x plus 1, and I'm just left with 2. All right, 6. 6, we did this exact same problem to warm up, but I want to do it again, right? I did that on purpose so we can look at it a second time. We've got a x plus 1 over x squared plus 7x plus 10 plus 2x over 3x plus 6. Okay? So to add, I need a common denominator. They're not the same. Not even close, right? But if I factor, I might be able to see some. So if I factor this one, I could factor this into a x plus 2, x plus 5. Okay? So I factor that one into x plus 2, x plus 5. And then the second fraction, I can common factor out of 3. I have a 3 times an x plus 2. Now I need a common denominator. Here's the trick. I factored. I haven't done anything, just factored. I need to make them the same. Second fraction has a 3 to make them the same. First fraction needs a 3. 3 over 3. First fraction has an x plus 5 to make them the same. The second fraction needs a x plus 5. Okay, now we have a common denominator. Happens to be my 3 times my x plus 2 and my x plus 5. That's my common denominator. Okay. Now my numerator, we're going to have to simplify. We're going to have to tidy it up. I'm going to distribute 3 times x, 3x, 3 times 1, plus 2x squared plus 10x. Okay. Now I'm almost done. The last thing I'd like to do is just tidy it up a little bit. And I can put the 3x and the 10x together, right? So my grand answer finally is going to be this: 2x squared plus 13x plus 3 over my common denominator, which is 3x plus 2, x plus 5. All right? A little bit harder, okay? These are probably the harder ones we do. Okay, 7. Lauren, you good? Okay, I'll wait for you. Okay. 7. 7 we did on the warm-up also, but I don't mind doing it again. And I did that on purpose. So we're going to get, okay, number 7, we have x over x squared minus 16 equals 2 over x minus 4. Now we need an answer. We need an x answer. But if my x answer is x equals 4, I can't have it. Because you cannot divide by 4. If x is 4, we'd have 4 minus 4 is 0, okay? And on the warm-up, we found that. But let's do it again, okay? So fraction equal to fraction. I'm going to cross multiply. And I'm going to get a x times an x minus 4 equals a 2 times an x squared minus 16. Okay, how am I doing? So just cross multiplied, right? I'm going to distribute on both sides. X squared minus 4x equals 2x squared minus 32, right? Okay, I got to solve for x. So I've got x squared and 2x squared. So if I'm going to solve for x, I need to get everything over to one side, okay? So I'm going to minus an x squared to cancel it. Minus an x squared. That'll cancel that. Okay, so then I'd have a negative 4x equals 1x squared minus 32. Okay, now I still need to get rid of the 4x so I can factor. I want to set it equal to 0. So we need to factor eventually, so I need to bring the 4x over. So to bring the 4x over, I add it, right? So I'm going to go plus 4x plus 4x. Okay, now it's going to equal 0. That's what I wanted to do. It's going to equal 0. That was my whole goal. And I have an x squared plus a 4x minus 32. I needed it to be equal to 0 so I can factor. Okay, so it equals 0. I need to factor. Okay, so I can factor this. 0 equals parentheses, right? How about an x plus 8x minus 4, right? Or our mini equation is really x plus 8 equals 0 or x minus 4 equals 0, right? Remember our mini equations? We skip that step a lot of times, right? We usually skip that step, but I showed it anyway. Minus 8 minus 8, one answer is negative 8. Plus 4 plus 4, the other answer is 4. But we said that x cannot equal 4, right? Throw that one away and just keep negative 8. Okay. All right, you guys ready to do number 8? Okay, turn the page. Okay, here comes the easy stuff, okay? I'll wait for you, Lauren. Here comes the easy stuff, okay? Oh, no, this is easy. The easy stuff's coming, okay? All right, number 8. Okay. I have 10 to the x equals 15, and we need it in log form. Okay. It's going to be, you ready? Log base 10 of 15 equals x. All right. Log base 10 of 15 equals x. Remember doing that? So we're going to go log base 10 of 15 equals x. Don't solve it. Just rewrite it. Thursday, just rewrite it in log form. Okay? Okay. 9. We're going to do just the opposite. We've got ln 3 equals x. Now, we need a base. ln is base e. We need a base. ln of e is base e. So I'm going to rewrite as log base e of 3 equals x. Okay? So, it's going to be e to the x equals 3. Remember that? E to the x power equals 3. So my answer is just e to the x equals 3. That's it. You can do that. You can do that. Okay, and I'll put 10 up here. I'll squeeze 10 because I have enough room for 10. I'll put 10 right there, okay? 10 is pretty easy. Okay, so 5 times 2 to the x equals 50, okay? We're going to solve for x. I'm going to need to log. I'm going to use the logarithms eventually, okay? Don't multiply. That is not 10. Do not do that. You cannot multiply the 5 times 2 because it's 2 to the x, okay? Don't multiply this. But let's just get rid of the 5. Let's divide by 5. First step, divide by 5, divide by 5, 2 to the x equals 10, okay? Now, if we want to get rid of the exponent, I want to bring it down, we have to take the log of both sides, right? So what I'm going to do is take the log of both sides. So I'm going to have the log of 2 to the x equals log of 10, right? So the reason we take the log of both sides is because it's going to float my exponent down. So my exponent is going to float on down. Remember that? It's not there anymore. Because by taking the log of both sides, I floated it down, right? Now, this is just a number in my calculator, some decimal. And this is just a number in my calculator, okay? So let's just solve. I'm just going to divide by log of 2. Cancels. Divide by log of 2. Okay, and I'm going to use my calculator. So x equals, and I'll show you, because you got to close your parentheses. You got to remember to close your parentheses. So on my calculator, it's going to look just like this. I'm going to go right on clear. We're going to go log 10 divided by log 2. Don't forget to close your parentheses. Okay, log 10 divided by log 2, about 3.32. Okay, about 3.32. Approximately equal to 3.32. Done. You can do these. Logs aren't hard, right? You guys remember how to do logs? No? Aren't you glad we went back through it?
I would need a revision of that.
That's why we got a review sheet, right? All right. Okay, number 11. Let's write this down, okay? We're almost done. Okay, we're going to have an 8x to the negative 3, y to the 4th, z, all over 16 x to the negative 2, y to the negative 3, z to the 0. Okay? Now, if it's a negative exponent, it needs to be moved. If it's a negative exponent, it needs to be moved. If it's on the bottom, we move up and make it positive. If it's negative on the top, we move it down and make it positive. Okay? But before I do that, I'm just going to reduce that to 1/2. Okay? First thing I'm going to do is reduce to 1/2. Okay? And then I'm going to move my exponents. Oh, thank you. So I'm going to reduce that, and then I'm going to move exponents. All right? So 1/2, right? 1/2, right? 8/16, 1/2. Okay? Now, I'm going to take my x to the negative 3, and I'm going to move it down. Okay? So I'm going to get an x to the positive 3. I'm going to take my x to the negative 2, and I'm going to move it up. X to the positive 2. My y to the 4th is fine. It's fine. Y to the 4th, let's just leave it there. But my y to the negative 3, I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it up and make it y to the positive 3. Z is fine. Leave it where it's at. But z to the 0, anything to the 0 power is always 1. Anything to the 0 power is always 1. Okay? Now let's tidy this up. Almost there. 1/2, right? And 1 times 2 is just 2. Okay. Now, 2 of these x's will cancel 2 of these x's, right? So I have an x on the bottom. 2 of these cancel 2 of these, right? y4, y3 makes a y7, z. Okay. Almost last but not least, number 12, which is probably one of the easier questions on the test. Because if you write this formula down, you'll have it in your notes, right? You can write down negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, right? That's my that's my quadratic formula. I'm going to highlight it so I have it. Okay? It's in your notes now, so you shouldn't have any problems at all doing this, right? So here's my question. I have a 3x squared minus a 4x plus 2, okay, equals 0. A is 3, B is negative 4, and C is 2, right? Alright, so we're going to plug A in, B in, C in, right? Okay, so I'm going to take a negative 4 and make it a negative negative 4, okay? Negative 4, I'm going to have a negative negative 4, which is positive 4. So I'll just show every step though. Negative negative 4 plus or minus the square root of negative 4 squared minus 4, because that's part of the formula, times A, which is 3, times C, which is 2, okay? All over 2 times A, which is 3, okay? So just plug things in where they go, okay? Now, am I going too fast? Okay, negative negative 4 is a positive 4, right? Plus or minus. Big square root. Now, negative 4 squared is a positive 16. Let me say this 5 times. Negative 4 squared is a positive 16. Because a negative times negative is a positive, okay? Negative 4 squared is a positive 16. So I'm going to write a positive 16 here because a negative times negative is a positive. Okay, good. 12 minus 24 over 6. Good. You have no idea how many kids make that a negative 16, but it won't happen, will it? Okay. Oh, we're going to have an I. I think we're going to have an I.
Yes.
We're going to have a 4 plus or minus the square root of negative 8 over 6. Now, before I do this, I'm going to put a little side note. My little side note is I know that the square root of negative 1 is equal to I. Remember that? A little side note? Okay. So let's break down the negative 8. So let's rewrite this. 4 plus or minus. And I'm going to break down my 8. I'm going to break down my 8. My 8 can be the same thing as 4 times 2 and then negative 1. Okay, that makes my negative 8. 4 times 2 makes 8, and there's my negative 1. All over 6. Okay? Square root of 4 is 2. Okay, I can just take that. So I'm going to have 4 plus or minus 2 squared is 2 I over 6. Okay, you know where I got the I from. Got the I from the square root of negative 1. And finally, I'm just going to reduce everything by 2. Okay, I'm just going to reduce. So I'm going to have a 2 plus or minus 1 square root of 2 I over 3 plus or minus. There's my answer. And that's it. We can do this, right? Yeah.